Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your host, Jay, and you're watching another episode right here in our studios from Inside Out. You're watching Man's Night. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of our Man's Night. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys so much for being here live in our studios. I appreciate it. We have a very interesting show for you guys here tonight. And as of course, we're going to have some co-host, our Tammy, be up here and to describe and go through this podcast with us tonight. She's a great asset to this podcast, as you guys know. And as you guys see, we have a Trey Stone in here real quick. So let's go ahead and get in the chat real quick and say hi to everybody. What's going on, Trey Stone? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, as always, coming in here and being part of this show. As you guys can see in the title description, though, however, we have an interesting one for you guys tonight. And we're going to be talking about the labor, the workforce, the slavery, however you want to work it or say it, right here in our prisons. And believe it or not, guys, I think some of the information that we're going to be sharing tonight, on the screen is going to be quite telling, but not shocking, I don't think, to a lot of you that understand how this whole thing works. So we got a lot of information and data and research and whatnot to share with you guys here tonight. And I hope you guys all really seriously appreciate it. With that being said, if anybody wants to get into the chat or on the live panel here tonight, you can do that right there. There is I'll put it up on screen just so I can, you guys can see it firsthand. There it is. There's the link right there. If you want to come up on the panel with all of us, me, my co-host Tammy, and so many others, and be a part of this podcast tonight, I greatly appreciate it. We're doing some big things over here, as you guys can tell. And of course, when we do these shows, we just don't talk about it, as you guys know. We also show you. In other words, we bring the receipts, we bring the proof, we bring the data up on these shows because I think it's crucial that we talk about it and show it at the same time, which gives more validation and truth behind it. And facts, too, by the way. So with that being said, I hope you guys understand that the things are there. Now, of course, if you guys want to get a hold of me on a more personal note and this thing isn't your thing for whatever reason, you can contact us right now at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Again, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here nonetheless. So we're going to be doing something that I believe firsthand for this show tonight. The show is about the prison labor and all of that. But we're going to show something on the screen that kind of gives more detail why it happens, why it occurs, discussing, things about the 13th Amendment and all of that fun jazz. All these things that we're going to be talking about kind of go hand in hand about the issues at hand when it comes to prison labor and all that. So if our co-host Tammy is available and can hear us, I need to get her in here now so she can help do this podcast. So 1 second, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my very odd. Okay. Anyways, can you guys hear and see me okay? I hope there's no connection issues whatsoever. If there is, I don't like the new setup that or update that they put on this system. So I hope I don't have any hiccups with it. Nonetheless, we're going to do what we can. Anyways, let me go ahead and put the first thing up on the screen while you guys are sitting here waiting. And then when I hear the beep of our co-host Tammy come in, I'll bring her up. With that, real quick, I'm going to show you guys on the screen. Let me go ahead and show Trey Stone's comment real quick. He said this for all of you. For the 20 billionth 20 billion government scammed into funding exploitation and side hustles of those over prisons. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that actually that number 20 billion is actually more. But nonetheless, that's not a very good sign, and that's a very high price tag for this type of stuff. But anyways, thank you, Trey, for your comment there. I do very much appreciate it. So let me go ahead and show you on the screen what we're talking about, what is going on here, and why this all occurs. Some of you already know, but for the ones that don't, this is for you. If it'll come up, come on, there it is. All right, let me get rid of my logo there for a second for tonight, so you guys can see this in the best you can. And I cannot zoom in on it any more than it is, so I do apologize on that, guys, up front. The practices of prisoners working for free. Yeah, hear me out. Pay attention to the information, and then we're going to break it down the best we can so you guys can understand what all this means. All right. So it says this, the practice of prisoners working for free, often referred to as prison labor. Pay attention to the words here tonight. I can't highlight some of these things because it's the way it's on here. But again, prison labor, I hope you guys can see that. That's exactly what it is. Okay, moving down the line here, it says this, can be seen as unconstitutional under several principles of the U.S. Constitution. Absolutely. And we're going to touch base on that. Moving down the line real quick, guys, for your viewing pleasure. I hope you guys appreciate this. Hit and smash the like button, guys, please. While the 13th Amendment, again, that's what I said, I think, earlier in the beginning of this podcast. The 13th Amendment right there is what, describes this. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get our co-host now in the show. Welcome, everybody, to the show, Tammy. Welcome, Tammy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, we made it to another Wednesday, as you know, not Wednesday, Friday. Friday. See, I'm all confused. I'm all confused. We made it to a Friday. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, thank you so much for being here, Tammy.
Are we?
Yeah, just a bit. I'm not here right now. I got so much on my mind. But what do you think about so far about the hey Texas Mom, how you doing? And we got Bert in here. What's going on, Bert? Thank you guys so much for being here. And of course, you too, Texas Mom. Thank you so much for being here. So, what do you think about this, Tammy? Give me some insight on this.
Well, I mean, as we know, the prison system started with slavery. It was the incarcerations, abuse, and unaliving and use of the physical labor of slaves who they unjustly incarcerated, most of them, and worked them to the point of unaliving. So that's where most of this came from, like at the very, very beginning of the court system, all the way down. If you study your Abraham Lincoln and some of the people that were in his cabinet, they helped build the prison system, and that's what started everything. Hi,
Bert said hello.
Hi, Trey. Hi, Texas Mom. Hi, everybody that's in the chat.
Hey, guys. Love and respect you all, guys. Soon. Love you guys.
Love all of you. Vicky wanted me to pass along that she sends love and peace to everyone. She's not feeling well tonight, so if you all can say a little prayer for her, please do. She could use a little bit of love and prayers there.
Yes, absolutely. Texas Mom is right on the button. I feel they should be paid, and they are, but very little, not enough.
In some states, they are paid, and others, like Texas here, they're not paid at all. And for all you naysayers out there that would say, and I don't care what backlash I get, would say, well, we as taxpayers, I'm a taxpayer, by the way. Jay, you're a taxpayer. We pay taxes, so I do have a say, actually. And they say,
Trey Stone says, love Tam Tam. Trey Stone says, love Tam Tam.
That's a very affectionate thing there, Trey, because that's what my grandmother called me, was Tam.
We love Tam Tam. I like that.
That's my term of endearment for me, actually.
I'll have to start remembering that and start saying that. Tam Tam. Hey, what's up, Tam Tam?
And so anyway, where was I at? Oh my goodness.
I just messed you up, didn't I? I messed you up, didn't I?
You know I'm old. Why you gotta pick on me like that, Jay?
I'm sharing the love. I'm sharing the love.
It's one of those brain, noisy things. So I think what I was talking about was
the slave labor and the price tag and the yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I was on. So in Texas, we don't pay the prisoners. And so they say, oh, well, we pay to house them and we pay for this and we pay for that. Well, actually, if you break it down, we have a surplus here in Texas, a big surplus, that their budget over budget, like, I mean, they have excess money. And part of that has to do with the fact that the prisoners all work for free on the farms, on the manufacturing plants, and then we make goods and services for the commissaries for other states and our own state. So the family members not only get punished by having to pay exorbitant fees for everything, we also get punished double because our loved ones in there making those items that we're purchasing.
Correct. So it's almost like a form of double dipping.
Yeah, it's kind of like our taxes in America. We get taxed on our pay. They take a huge amount out of my taxes every payday. And then I go out and I buy gas, which is taxed. I go out and buy groceries, some necessities like hygiene products, things like that are taxed. And if I go eat somewhere, I'm going to pay tax. If I go do XYZ, I'm going to pay tax. It's like, we're taxed to friggin' death.
Everything's taxed.
I don't want to hear about we pay for prisoners. That's a lost cause on me. I'm sending you some stuff, Jay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I must have lost you. I lost connection on my end. So repeat what you're saying there. Go ahead.
I said I don't want people to come at me with the BS about, oh, well, we house them, we do this, and our taxes, da-da-da-da. No, you know where your taxes are going? To a corrupt government. Correct. Local, state, and federal government that chooses to incarcerate a lot of innocent people and a lot of BS charges that house all those people, and then we treat them like crap and they come out. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and what Tammy's speaking about, guys, in more detail, if you want to know, is that sometimes I will get into I don't even know if you want to call it a debate, maybe an argument, something along those lines, kind of like what a hater or a troll would do. A taxpayer, a person that's obviously a little bit ignorant, that gets in the chat in my comment section and my videos and whatnot and say that, like especially with this topic tonight about the labor and the working in the prisons. The taxpayers that I end up getting in my chat would say things like this, or in this nature would say, they're being funded and paid for by us to live there. They're already being paid. So why should they be paid to do any type of work or something along those lines? So if let's say, for example, my locked up loved one, guys, is out in the work field in this, for example, any farm field. I'm not going to say a certain one because people then will think I'm racist. Certain work fields out in the dirt and mud and muck in the heat or any kind of weather event, and they're not getting paid for that work, that's bullcrap. That's what they call slave labor, and yes, the taxpayers are paying for their bedding, the state food, their whole entire prison sentence is being funded and paid for by the taxpayers. And then when they go work, that money and that money that they make or should be making should go to them. So it takes the load and the bearing, if you will, off of the loved one. So they don't have to support them commissaries, phone calls, and et cetera, et cetera. They're working. They can pay for it. That's what I believe it should go for. But no, it like I said, it feels to me like it's a double dipping situation. And the taxpayers are very ignorant and they don't know these things. And it's so hard to try to educate these guys. They just don't want to hear it. But go ahead, Tammy.
Like we talked about it earlier, even duct tape that fixes everything can't fix stupid. So if you guys would like to try the duct tape on the stupid people, go right ahead. I don't know. I give up.
I think I'm the one that came up with that. It said duct tape can't fix stupid.
You sure did. We were talking about it. You came up with it, and I was like, oh, yeah. That ingenuity.
I can see it right here somewhere. Duct tape can't fix stupid.
We got it.
By the way, guys, this hat, if you're interested, is on my merch line right now. Success is the best revenge. The trolls and the haters hate this hat. So show your support by getting one of them if you want. But absolutely. Texas Mom, and again, thank you so much for being here, Texas Mom. I appreciate you. She said this: the state's slop begin because it's far from food. Yeah, and I've done multiple podcasts on that, and people couldn't believe what I was coming up with and the information and data in it. It's so degrading. It's absolutely sad. More on that later if there's time. Anyways, Bert said this: the more they tax, the make things worse. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. But Tammy, I'm going to go ahead and get into now the information. This thing that you see on our screen, you can go ahead and explain it. I tried to start, but I was waiting for you to get in. I might be getting ahead of myself, but I tried to read this off. If you want to read this off in some detail,
no.
I'll
Go to your email real quick. I sent them. I broke it up. Sorry.
Oh,
I'll
okay,
read
fair
the
enough.
intro that I did not put on there. I'll read it real quick and then we'll go into each chapter. But it says,
Okay.
you'll know because it says number 1 on it, number 2, number 3, number 4. There's 4 sections.
All right, let me see if I can do what I can, but I don't know. I can't guarantee, though, Tammy, to get your email out of the way. That's the problem with that. Just bear with me for a second.
I sent
Bear
them
with
to
me for a
you
second.
as pictures.
Oh, fair enough. Well,
Okay, so you
I'm
should be able
still
to get them. But I'll
okay.
read
So
this while you're doing that, while you're looking at it. I'm just going to read the introduction paragraph before all the...
oh, you labeled them number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So I'll do that and let me get it going and go ahead and start it, and then I'll break in.
Okay, good. Okay, so the practice of prisoners working for free, often referred to as prison labor, can be seen as unconstitutional under several principles of the U.S. Constitution. While the 13th Amendment explicitly abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, it includes an exception for punishment for crimes, which is often interpreted as allowing unpaid prison labor. However, there are compelling constitutional arguments against forcing prisoners to work for free.
Correct.
And we're going to break down those
Just a
compelling
minute.
constitutional arguments in just one moment. Let me look at
Sorry,
what's
guys.
going
Bear
on
with
in
me.
the chat while you're doing that. And I can read off some of the
Bear with me.
comments in
I'm
the
doing my
chat.
best on my end. Just bear with me, guys.
You're
1
good.
second, okay,
You're
guys?
good. We just had some stuff. So,
Okay, there's that. I don't need that. Okay, so I'll come back into the studio.
Trey wrote, folks don't know what the punishment is, just being there. The separation from home and family is the punishment. All the abuse
Yes.
is not part of the sentence. That's the whole thing. That's what I said. And listen, I got another little thing I want to say on this real quick. Jay and I had a real good conversation a little bit ago. This is a funny thing. I'm not going to say who, what, or why, or where, but I've heard it a couple of times. And a comment was made to me, well, then you shouldn't go to prison.
Yeah,
Well,
I get that all the time too. Yeah.
It's total BS. Because let me tell you something. If you drink and drive, you can go to prison. If you smoke weed in the state of Texas or inhale it in any form, matter, or shape without a medical thing, or you have more consumption than your medical prescription is allotted in Texas or in a form that's not allotted that way, you go to prison. And if you spend money for buying a person to be with you in an engagement in an act of certain persuasion, I'm going to put it that way, that is also illegal in the state of Texas.
Correct.
And I'm sure that a lot of these things are illegal in a lot of other states. So for all you people that are bigots and hypocrites, kudos, congratulations. Get an education in the law.
Absolutely.
And what is breaking the law and what's not.
Yeah, absolutely,
okay,
guys.
So not that one, Jay. It's going to be the one that's labeled number 1.
All right, so this one?
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so let me get my little thing up here. Sorry, guys. Okay, Number
So pay
one,
attention, ladies and gentlemen, of this information and data that we work pretty hard behind the scenes to show you guys here tonight. Now, again, I know a lot of you out there already know about this stuff, but this is for the ones that obviously don't. And this is for educational purposes. Keep that in mind. Education is key, knowledge is power, and that's the way we look at it from this point on from this podcast. Go ahead, Tammy. Thank you.
thank you so much. So, number one, Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. The
I say
Eighth
this all the
Amendment.
time.
Oh, yeah, you're
Mhm.
going to get to tell us all. I know what you're going to say. The Eighth Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, forcing prisoners to work for exploitative conditions without pay may amount to cruel and unusual punishment, especially when they are coerced into labor that lacks basic protections and compensation. This practice
Correct.
can inflict psychological, financial, and physical harm on inmates, which some argue violates their Eighth Amendment rights. Go for
Yes,
it, Jay.
bingo.
What's your opinion?
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, and again, this is not to sound cocky or smartassy or anything of this. This is strictly for your guys' knowledge so you can use it and share it for somebody else that's going through something similar. Like I said, I'm a former, key word, former locked up individual, ladies and gentlemen. I've been there, done that, seen it, experienced it, lived it. Okay? When I can tell you, without even this on the screen, that certain things are considered Eighth Amendment cruel and unusual punishment or violations, that's exactly what it is. No AC in our Texans or Southern prisons is an Eighth Amendment violation, folks. This slave labor, what we're talking about tonight, if I have to go over my time limit, I will. That's, in a sense, talking about this. It's an Eighth Amendment violation. So think about this. So take what I'm telling you, use it, because it can help you with your locked up loved one, whoever it may be, for possible litigation type cases. Take what I'm saying to heart. Understand that I wouldn't be lying to you if this stuff didn't exist. DOC and the state don't want you to know this stuff. Some attorneys are not even going to tell you this. The ones that want to fight will, but again, the ones that I've come across don't give a damn. Excuse my French, Trey. So with that, understand that Eighth Amendment is there for a purpose and a reason. If cruel and unusual punishment, ladies and gentlemen, is happening with your locked up loved one, I highly suggest you get yourself a grievance filing and get that case going. Tammy? Are you there? Are you there, Tammy?
Sorry, I took myself on mute. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So this is the thing, guys. Start a grievance process on the inside and the outside. That means, like I said, always, if you're going to call, which I encourage you to call, ask who you're speaking with, because they're going to ask you who you are. I call for simple things and they'll give me,
Yeah.
they want
Yeah.
everything but my DNA. Who are you? What's your name? Who are you calling about? What's their inmate number? Blah, 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 blah. Well, if they're going to question you, then you need to question them. What officer am I speaking to?
Yeah.
What
Because
is your
again,
employee ID number?
a badge number. There you go.
Whatever it may be, wherever they're at, ask them as well. You have the right to know that too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
write it down on a calendar. Put the time, put the person's name, put their if you can get their ID or badge number, get that as well. And then what you do is, after you talk to that person, if they don't give you the resolution you want, and you ask to speak to the major or the warden or
Pay
whoever they
attention.
send you to, get their name, get their
Pay
number,
attention.
their title. And then after you do all that, then as soon as you hang up that phone with them, I want you to get on your phone, your computer, whatever you have at your disposal, and I want you to write an email to either the family liaison, the
And why is
warden,
that, Tammy?
whoever you need to. And then I encourage all of you to know who your lawmakers are and make sure you CC them. CCing is when you put more than one email
Multiple.
name. You'll have your email, and then it'll say CC. Click on that, and it'll open up, and you're going to type in that next person you want to give to, and then you
Right.
put a comma,
So-
and you can put another person.
Correct. And let me ask you, so why do we need to do emails, Tammy? Tell the viewers out there, why is it appropriate and necessary to
When
do
you go get an
email?
attorney, you're going to have 2 forms of proof that you called the unit. One is going to be your cell phone records. Number 2 is going to be the written communication that you send and the written
boss is here.
communication that you receive.
Sorry, the boss is here.
Good. So, then we create this paper trail, and guess what we have for the attorney? We've just given them some proof that you're fighting.
Hey, boss. Yeah.
Boss.
And then welcome. Texas Mom goes, welcome, Avatar. Yeah, it's Avatar, but it's boss. Got to get it right, Texas Mom. It's the boss.
Avatar boss.
Oh, she got it right. Texas Mom just came in here and said that. Hey, boss. Yeah, I'm well trained.
I love it.
Oh no, she's cool. She's cool, and I got an update.
When she's bossing you, that's all.
I got an update for you guys after the tail end of the show, so don't want to miss it. But carry on, Tammy. Go ahead.
Okay, so now we'll get into slide number 2 if you want to put it up.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. So this one is the 14th Amendment, equal protection and due process. The 14th Amendment guarantees equal protection and due process under the law. Many argue that forcing inmates to work for free treats them unequally and violates due process. Prison labor disproportionately impacts marginalized communities who are overrepresented in the prison system due to systemic inequalities. Unpaid labor perpetuates cycles of poverty and inequality, potentially infringing on their equal protection rights. So,
yeah,
when we talk about this, they're talking about minorities, specifically one minority more than the others, because that's more.
Go ahead, Tammy. I'll let you have this one, Tammy. I'll let you have this one.
Well, you're going to want to jump in, I'm sure. But so our Black community, African American community, or, the multitude of things that they've been called that's unjust and undignified, are targeted. They're stereotyped. They're targeted directly by officers and certain entities to get them incarcerated, to enslave them specifically. So, and then you have another community under that, which I would say is the poor. People that don't have a lot of money, people that aren't in that upper percentile.
Yes.
And if you are, they're going to find a way to break you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was housed. Yeah, I was housed with a couple of poor people that didn't have anything, and when I got released, I gave him my commissary. So yeah.
Yeah, Rick's done that a couple of times when he's transferred from one unit to another, and given things away because he felt, like, let me give to somebody else that has less. He knows it's not going to upset me one bit. If I have to buy more, I have to buy more.
Right. That's what it's about, though. It's a respect thing. But yeah, thank you, Tammy, for that. And again, guys, just for some information for you guys, if it's doable, the 14th Amendment is also important, guys. It really is. What she read here is important. Again, and this one, believe it or not, gets violated too. A lot of these that we're going to be showing you guys here tonight, and plus other data, the DOC system, or the system as a whole, like to violate these things. Because again, keep in mind, DOC as a whole think they're above the law. We got a good friend, Melissa, in here. She said this, and the prisons profit off of corpse corporations. I think that's where we're paying minimum wage to the DOC, and they pay the person behind the bars 24 cents, and they keep the difference and do out it into programs, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, a lot of this stuff. Hey, Cadillac, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. A lot of this stuff is pocketed instead of going to what it's supposed to go to. A lot of profit, a lot of money comes into the system, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you guys realize that. A lot of money comes into the system, and we're a lot of it don't. A lot of it, guys, does not go where it's supposed to go. And Cadillac shows her love and respect. Thank you so much for being here, Cadillac. And then, of
Well,
course,
yes, thank you. Glad to see you here.
Trey Stone said this: using up their productive years and calling it rehabilitation, dirty task makers. Yeah, absolutely. Get special place in hell. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, there's that word. That word rehabilitation gets used a lot as a blanket term, like everything else. And it's I know it's funny they use it, but do they really?
But
Do they really
they don't
get it?
do it.
No.
They get the
They
money
don't
for
receive it.
Let me tell you an example. This is a perfect example. So they send him in there to send my husband in there to do this rehabilitative class, right, for substance abuse. They show him some videos. They don't talk to him really. They don't, work through therapy or any of that kind of stuff. They just show him a couple of videos and they go, "Oh, well, you're sober now, so you don't even need this. You're good. You don't have to come back. You've passed."
And okay, so where'd the money go?
Getting paid money from federal grants and state grants to offer these classes. Y'all realize that on the back end,
They don't.
right? Like they're making
They
money
don't care.
off of these rehabilitative.
See that they don't. They don't care. They don't care. Wow.
That app is really that Edovo app that I told you guys about, that we did the show on. He has learned more about substance abuse and alcoholism than he's learned through the rehabilitative classes through the prison.
Yeah. That should tell you something.
That's absolutely sad, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But let's go ahead and move along here. We got a lot more stuff to go through, guys. Let's see. What is that number? I think this is the next one here. Yep, here it is. Thank you guys so much for being involved in the chat. I appreciate you guys more than you know.
This is your favorite one. Here we go. The 13th Amendment, modern day interpretation of involuntary servitude. While the 13th Amendment does include an exception for penal labor, the social and economic contexts have evolved since its enactment. In recent years, some have argued that forcing prisoners to perform labor without compensation is a form of involuntary servitude in the modern sense. This view sees the exploitation of prison labor as a continuation of the slavery era system, where laborers are compelled to work under the threat of punishment and without pay, perpetuating economic exploitation.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it just goes to show you again, and I can touch base on this too, Tammy. Thank you again for sharing this, Tammy. I really appreciate you. Cadillac said this. Hello, glad to be here. Just getting off work. Excellent topic. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Again, Cadillac and everybody else in the chat, you guys got show ideas or content ideas or a story that you want to be up on the show. Let us know. We'll do it. It just doesn't have to be our shows that we put together. It can be your shows too.
Yes, and also remember, you can take any of this content that we put out. It's there for you if you want to do a short on it, like yourself, Cadillac, or anybody wants to do it on their own social platform or want to share this information. Please feel free. I give
you guys verbal full permission to use my content if you want to make a short video or something like that, so there's no copyright issues. I said it right there live on this thing. You guys want to use my content, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything with the artwork or any of that I do, feel free. Everything I get and everything Jay gets, we kind of are on the gist of let's share with the world. This is the way people learn, is through all the sharing, guys.
Yeah. And Missa or Melissa, look at this. And again, you guys can see the chat yourselves. This is spot on. And I was going to speak on this real quick, but we got a lot to go through. And if I have to, like I said, if I have to go through my time or go through my hour, I will. As it says, this 13th Amendment permits slavery. Okay, Lincoln corrupt cabinet judge Underwood created retributive justice. Now, pay attention to this. See, you guys, you can see the comment right there, and then I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to read a little bit more to you guys about the 13th Amendment and why it should be either fixed, amended, or changed, so we don't have to deal with this anymore. Because this is one of the amendments that I don't agree with in the Constitution, as you guys know. And I would like to see it fixed because it's not implemented right. It's not being used right, if that makes sense. Trey Stone said this real quick, and then I'm going to have to get off the chats. Federal judges are not allowed to sentence anyone for any vocal reason, as they hope. Prison will reform you. You instantly will win an appeal. There you go. Spot on. Thank you, guys. But moving on real quick, guys. Again. Yeah, thank you, Trey. So the 13th Amendment is what causes the slave labor and the workforce, if you will, inside of our prisons. In a nutshell, we got to get rid of it. We got to at least try to amend it, fix it, so they can't use this against our locked up loved ones, if that makes sense.
Correct.
All right. So we got to do what we can, guys. If we want, there's a lot of things within the system, folks, that we got to try to change. And, it's going to be a daunting task, as you guys know, but we're going to do our best.
We can do it, though. We're going to push, and we have God behind us.
Well, yeah, and now that
his eyes were overstepping boundaries because there's only one judge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, now that the election's over, I think I see some good things happening. That's just my opinion. I'm just going to go from there. The election's over. It turned out great. And we're going to do some good things now, hopefully. But anyways, with that being said, last but not least, here's this one, Tammy, and then we'll get into the video.
Okay. Number 4, international human rights standards. Although not a part of the U.S. constitutional law, international human rights standards, such as those outlined by the International Labor Organization and the United Nations, for which was built to create a protective thing for all of us in the world, consider forced prison labor without pay to be a violation of basic human rights. Increasingly, there is a movement to align domestic practices with these global standards, which could influence constitutional interpretations and drive reforms. In sum, while the 13th Amendment provides a legal basis for prison labor, compelling inmates to work for free raises constitutional concerns regarding cruel punishment, equal protection, and involuntary servitude in today's context.
There you go.
Now, Jay, I do have a point I want to make too about this because it hits very near and dear to me right now.
Absolutely. Fire away.
As we're going through this, my husband has court this month for child support.
Yeah, get this, guys.
I have recommended to him to ask the judge if he can address the court so that he can tell them, I work, but I work for free. I do have a job. I am employed with the state of Texas in my incarceration, but get paid nothing.
Yeah.
So when they come out, they owe all this money to the state of Texas. And guess what happens to a lot of them?
They end up going right back.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle, guys. It's got to stop.
What sense does that make?
Yeah.
What sense does it make?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys now some more content or data, as I like to call it, up on the screen. Melissa said this. Yep, involuntary servitude. Chris on FBI can connect you. He would be a great help with that. There you go. All right. Well, send me his information, please, Melissa, to me in my email. You have it, voicesfrominsideoutgmail.com, or put in the chat. and we'll try to get hooked up and go from there. That sounds very interesting. Thank you so much for that information. Nonetheless, Texas Mom said, "Great point, Tammy. Absolutely." Melissa said, "Child support is considered that." Yeah. See, and child support to me is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I was going to ask you a question, Tammy, real quick on that topic itself by itself. I think child support is just as corrupt as any other program that came up or was invented. Do you think child support is necessary, or do you think child support's stupid?
Okay. The way it's handled is stupid. I think it is necessary for both parents to support the children as best that they both can.
I agree. But if one can't, though?
If they can't, they can't. But if they're evading or avoiding, no, that's not right. But if they can't, then they can't. If you incarcerate somebody, like through these vindictive people that do this, and then they incarcerate the man, where do they expect to actually get away with the BS of trying to get child support? That's stupid.
Right. My friend Bert said, "Jay, where do you get your strength at? From the Lord." From the Lord.
Very, very straightforward, simple answer right there.
I get my faith and my strength from my Lord, our Lord. And absolutely. And without him, I'd be lost, but of course I do have good supporters. I have great family here on this channel. I have a great family here that you don't see much. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Thank you so much, Curtis, Kurt, Bert, my friend. Yeah. Anyways, there's our email, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Thank you, Texas Mom. I appreciate it. And of course, Bert said disagreed. And then, of course, last but not least for right now, necessary but corrupt. It doesn't need to be or more a month each child. No, here's my take on it real quick. My take, ladies and gentlemen, on child support itself by itself, depending on the situation, depending on the case, because each one is different. My opinion on it, guys, is it's got to go. Now, here's why I say that. Depending on the case itself, because don't get me wrong, and I'm not beating up the dads out there or beating up the moms. I'm just being hypothetically. There are some deadbeat dads out there that kind of deserve that treatment because, hey, it is what it is. Now, there are also deadbeat moms out there. Again, nothing against the moms. There are some moms out there that are deadbeat that don't give a dang rat's ass or anything. Both sexes, if you will, have problems trying to raise kids. They should be parents. But nonetheless, the whole entire system when it comes to the child support itself, folks, needs to be fixed, changed, or even abolished depending on how we adjust it. Everything needs an adjustment. I don't like the way it currently works because I don't believe, and this is my belief, I'm going to get some criticism for it, I don't care. My belief is if you can't make a child support payment, you shouldn't lose your license over it. Work it out to where you get to keep your license and go from there. Because again, I understand that
incarceration helping
or incarceration. Right. I think being penalized because you're not paying your child support makes you lose your license, and then you lose your job, and you lose everything because you can't drive. What's the point? That makes everything worse instead of better.
Makes no sense to do that.
Makes no sense. That's how I look at it, and absolutely. And I, like everything else, like the 13th Amendment we're talking about here, guys, tonight, it needs to be amended or fixed. Absolutely.
Cadillac made a good example. I used to cooperate with child support for my daughter's father, but they made me turn in a letter stating that he would be incarcerated well beyond child being of age, and they closed his case. Yeah. Now they need to do that in more states, because Texas, you could be 80. If you owe child support and you're 80 years old coming out of there, you're still going to be paying it to that mom, even though those kids are well beyond the age. Texas didn't get that money out of you.
Cadillac, what state does that doing that? Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to tell me, but I need to know what state that's at. I think you said you were in Florida. I can't remember. But anyways, Texas Mom said, yes, Cadillac, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for that. Hey, Melissa, anyways, I'm getting out of my chats are all getting messed up here. Anyways, yes, that part from the Lord. Absolutely. Without him, I'd be completely lost. Very blessed. Anyways, Melissa Ann said, replying to Miss Ellen. Oh, okay. Well, welcome in, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I think you've been in here before. Again, I get newbies in here and sometimes I don't recognize you guys. So I apologize if I don't recognize you or say hi. I'm not ignoring you. And then Texas Mom said, that depends, Tammy. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's get into
talk on that one, Texas Mom, because I know it's probably by judges and areas and how they want to interpret the law in their area, more than likely in Texas. But yeah, they're pretty cutthroat.
All right, Tammy, it's all yours. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Are you gonna you want to do the video?
I guess we can do the video first. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, all credit, I have to say this verbally, all credit goes to Dr. Phil. This is actually from the Dr. Phil show, which I used to watch a lot of it back in the day. Anyways, listen to this. All credit goes to the show. I'm not taking any of it. Pay attention to this guy's conversation, and then we'll go into the ACLU, and then we'll open up for everybody to chat. Here's that video. Thank you, Tammy, for sharing this with me.
And thank you, Tanya.
A teenager, and I was released at 31. I did time in 9 different prisons. Forced prison labor.
It's not showing, Jay.
Industrialized.
The video.
It's not showing?
Yeah, the video is not showing.
What the heck is going on here? Hold on a minute. What I do?
It's okay.
Oh.
This is how you know we're live, guys.
Yeah. Can you guys see it now?
Yes. Can you start it over, you think, or push it back?
Yeah. Yes, I can do that for you.
You're wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Again, guys, I'm not no professional over here. All right. Again, all credit goes to Dr. Phil. All credit goes to Dr. Phil. Anyways, here's that video. Pay attention, guys.
I went to prison myself as a teenager, and I was released at 31. I did time in 9 different prisons. There is forced prison labor in all of them. But now it's more industrialized, where guys are working for corporations. And
pay attention.
Less than $50 a month. And that issue alone correlates with our high crime rates and high recidivism rates, because I know that if people were compensated properly for work that they do in prison, they would get out in better shape. And most of the guys that get out and come right back are guys that have money issues. So if you work for 10 years or 15 years or however long your sentence is, and you come out just as broke as you were when you went in, that's no good. If you're working to make private corporations or private individuals profit, and none of that profit comes to you, then that is slavery.
Bingo.
Also joining us is Bianca Tylick, and she is the founder and executive director of Worth Rises, a nonprofit organization devoted to dismantling the prison industry. So thanks to both of you for being here. You think that forced labor inside prison is, in fact, slavery?
Most definitely.
No upside to it at all?
No upside. Well, there's an upside to it if you create it for yourself. But I'd like to also make a point about this subject that there's 4 or 5 times more county jails in America than prisons. And people in county jails don't work. Sometimes they stay there 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they don't have to work. They can do whatever they want to do. But my issue with the whole forced prison labor is, let me do something that will create a better citizen, because that's what society is saying it wants from me. It wants me to get out. If I have a release date and I get out of prison, what do you expect from me? Do you want me to be better or worse or the same? It really comes down to that question. And if I'm forced to work in jobs that have no real upside for me, because I've done most of the jobs I did in prison had no upside. It's just work. So when I got out at 31 years old, I didn't have anything. There's nothing waiting for you. For most guys like me, especially when you do a lot of time, there's nothing waiting for you downside. So you want an upside, you have to create it yourself. So that's what I do.
Domingo says that prisons made him think about his ancestors and what they must have felt. This really impacted you mentally and emotionally.
Oh yes, it made me hate my country, to be brutally honest with you. It made me seriously hate my place of birth. When I went to prison, I was ignorant of many things. I didn't know much about myself. I didn't know much about American history or world history. But when I went to prison, I read hundreds of books. I learned a lot of things that I didn't learn in school that I should have learned in school about myself, about history and world history. And when I put all of those things together, uh, coming into prison that young, and seeing most of the guys there look like me, guys under 25 with 25, for an amount of drugs that can fit in the palm of your hand, first time offenses. And I analyzed the situation deeply, and that's where that hatred came from, because I didn't see, any out. I didn't see any way that this was going to change. I felt like an enemy in my own country. And yes, I made a mistake. I was 18 years old. I sold crack. My neighborhood was a ganged up neighborhood. So I made typical decisions from, like someone coming from those environment makes. Sure. And to be punished in such a way, to go and have all of my 20s taken from me, every day of my 20s for an amount of drugs that could fit in the palm of your hand, never had a traffic ticket before that.
Wow.
That hurt me.
Wow.
Now, Bianca, let's talk about the money. How much money are corporations making from prisoners like this who are working in prisons? What kind of money are they making off of this a year?
I think we're looking at reports that are saying as much as $11 billion. But I think it's important to realize that it's not just about corporations. We get really hung up on the idea of corporations using labor. But the biggest abuser of prison labor, exploiter of prison labor, is the U.S. government. By far. More than 90% of people who are incarcerated are slaving for the government.
Do you have a story?
Wow.
Question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.
All right, I'm going to get out of that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to come back to the studio, man. That's a mouthful. There's a lot to talk there. There's a lot of man, Tammy, fire away. Tammy, you there?
Sorry, I did it again.
Oh.
I recommend anybody to watch this video or even that whole entirety of that show and tap into the woman that runs that organization that wants to dismantle the prison system, because you know what? I'm on board. I am going to contact her. I'm going to ask her, what can I do? How can I help? What direction are you going? What do you need? And we will put it out there and get behind her, because let me tell you something. We have to get rid of slavery.
Yeah, I agree.
Things aren't going to change in this racially divided country until we do.
Wouldn't that be something or amazing, Tammy, and everybody in the chat, that I end up getting a call to get up on the Dr. Phil show?
Oh, that would be absolutely crazy.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I would love to update you guys on that if that ever happens. But yeah,
Reach
absolutely.
Reach out to him. That's what I say.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
Know.
So, but keep that in mind, guys. But anyways, I think what I'm gonna hold off. I know you sent it to me because there's just so much data. I want to open this up for the rest of the night for people.
Yeah, there's another article that we were going to show you guys, but we ran over. It's in. Is it? I'm sorry if I'm over talking you. I don't mean to. Is there I know the delay. So is there there's a link for the ACLU article, correct?
It's in the description.
Okay, guys, that is a case out of Maryland that ACLU did, fighting for exactly the topics that we're talking about tonight. They have a case that they took to court. There's other case precedent. We need to abolish this crap. The slavery is disgusting.
Yeah, and you just heard it right there. Look at the money coming in. And again, I don't know the date when that was made and whatnot, but I don't think it really technically matters. Nonetheless, folks, look at the money that was coming in. And I think, was that just one state that they were talking about, or multiple? And it does. First off, to me, honestly, it doesn't matter if it was state or multiple. That just goes to show you the corruption and the crooked double dipping, as I call it, that's going in these people's pockets. Somebody is taking their hard work labor and putting it in their pockets instead of our locked up loved ones. No, hell to no. So that's where I stand in it. Again, we got Bert says, give her my email. Absolutely. And then Melissa Ann said, end prison slavery. Absolutely. I love your guys' hashtags. This helps too. Hashtag it the heck. Do it. It says this. You guys can see it. Tammy, do you want to read that comment? Because I wanted to do something real quick while you're reading that comment off. The one from Miss Elmbergen.
I don't know if did you put it up? Can you put it up?
It's-
Because I think hers are coming off of Facebook, and that's why I couldn't. I'm sorry.
It's up on the screen. It's up on the screen now,
See if I
Tammy. Can you
can.
see it? Okay.
In VIA, we are first working on wage bills, allowing those working. I'm sorry, I'm reading so slow, guys. My glasses. To cover fines, fees, reentry, etc., etc. Slavery within the system isn't going to go away anytime soon. Tragically, it's billions and billions, but our work today matters for those tomorrow too.
Yes.
For our tomorrow too. I agree 100%, guys. Guys, I'm just telling you, I would just let's push and push and push. I can't wait to talk to you, Missa, this weekend, because I'm telling you, I have some ideas that Jay and I we've sat and we've beat across the bush, around the bush, and through the bush. And I really feel like, and Tanya as well, the Texas mom, and Cadillac, unite it all together. And as we bring other people in and bring more awareness and more education and more all of that, that's how we're going to get our people. Virginia Justice Alliance. I'm sorry that I said that wrong. It was VJA, Virginia Justice Alliance, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
You need to definitely go follow Miss Cadillac. Has her wrongfully convicted. TikTok.
Okay, Cadillac.
Cadillac, I don't know if you have a Facebook, but yeah, we need to make sure that you guys, our followers and people that see this podcast every week, if you would go and follow and like and share some of our other advocates that are in here pushing. Texas Mom, hers is Texas Prison, on Facebook. Everybody put your websites, TikToks, social media. Please put it in here, because we are viewed around the world.
Yes, we are in Australia. We are in Britain. We're everywhere.
Yeah. So, and this is how we share and love each other, guys.
Yeah. Melissa said this from Facebook. Again, Melissa, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you can hear me okay. She said this, guys, and I'm right there with her, like everybody else here. It's sick and inhumane what they do to prisoners, from conditions to slavery and all the corporations, corruption. Absolutely. Spot the heck on. Hit the nail on the coffin.
Cadillac said the food vendors are ripping the families off. Yes, they sure are. I would love to see Jeff Bezos, if you ever hear this or see this, maybe we need to tag him in this. I'd like to see if Amazon could come across and do something better.
I agree.
Let's see if you guys could do something better with getting the food and items that are needed cheaper. Faster.
Well, not just that. You guys know the top ramen and the soups that are in prison. Sorry, Tammy. The top ramens and the soups that are in prisons are high sodium. They're bad for us, and from the sodium and salt aspect of things. So I don't think those are pointless to sell, but it's a filler. So that's the reason why they sell them, and it's cheap. But there's another solution that I keep saying every time we bring up the food topic. Real quick. The solution I have is we need to, how about build gardens inside of our prisons yards? There's enough room. Make a certain area for gardens so we can plant fresh vegetables and whatnot for our inmates, instead of giving them out to the big stores and whatnot and other places. Let the prisons collect that food and make it for their food, for their breakfast, dinner, and lunch.
Yeah, because like the ones that are actually on the prison grounds, they do have some on some of the prison grounds. but they
Yeah.
don't get
Yeah.
to partake in them. They go other places.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, welcome from X, a newbie here, Juliana. I can't say the name. What these names are hard for me, but sorry for beating it up. Anyway, she said Florida prisons are money making machines. All prisons are absolutely correct, and we need to do what we can to change that. And hopefully we can. Thank you so much for that comment, guys. You guys are all on fire tonight. Boxes labeled not for human consumption. Yes, I worked in the kitchen. That is a true statement. That's not hype. That's not a lie. That says that on the containers or something similar to that effect. I worked in the kitchen. I know. So she's right. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. And then hashtag Dr. Phil. Absolutely. They won't hear because they lease the properties to corporations and Alcor. Well, that's amazing, not surprising, but that's. And Melissa said this: they allow them to have their tablet in the hole now because they know they can make money off of the tablets. Yeah, they charge for everything. They charge them to watch commercials, to things they would never be able to buy. They also charge for download the music, download movies, download what they want. We have to put money on their book so they can download this stuff. Yeah. See, cha-ching. $182 billion of 2024's money came into the system this year, and that will be even more next year. $182 billion of your tax dollars. And people say it's not in the budget. Moving down the line, Voices for Texas Prisoners is Texas Mom. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love you guys, man. We got 28 people in here tonight. We are on Facebook and TikTok. Yes, we are. And of course, I would be streaming off of one of them, but they, for some reason, won't let me. And so a lot of people don't get to see this. All right. Truthful Tam also said Dr. Phil reform. Yeah, I like that too. Texas Mom, here's the Facebook link. Go check her out. Go to Texas Mom. Follow her there. Let her know Jay sent you. Thank you for sharing that, Texas Mom. Trey Stone said this: they serve rice, beans, and bread at every federal meal. It's fillers. Yeah, it fills you up, but it's no nutrition. There's no nutrition value. But keep in mind, it's approved by the FDA, which is the Food Drug Administration. And on that tray, ladies and gentlemen, I've done it before, I'll say it again, is a 2,000 calorie diet tray. That's it. We are human beings, and according to the FDA, we're only allowed, including our locked up loved ones, 2,000 calories. That's it. That's it. No, anything more above that is considered unhealthy, unfit. Anything below that would be considered inhumane. So that's another reason why a lot of our locked up ones cannot sue. There you go. Absolutely. Voices for Texas Prisons. Absolutely. Thank you, Truthful Tam, for that. Again, Truthful Tam said Cadillac is on TikTok. The Blind Artist. Absolutely. And then Cadillac said, yes, I know someone on dialysis after being a long time incarcerated. Yes, because the food in there will make the dialysis and your diabetes worse. They have special diets, but even those suck. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Sorry, all. Bert said, no worries. Melissa said, and feeds poor health upon reentry, high blood pressure, etc. Absolutely. Heart conditions, diabetes.
Yes, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. Do not.
I did.
Drinks. I tell everyone because it's terrible, terrible, terrible for our loved ones. Rick got some sad news today. One of his old cellies, he's really concerned about him. He said, he goes, babe, he just got told he's insulin. He's got to take insulin now. And
see,
I said,
and that's the food.
I said, you got to help him. You know what's wrong, what's right, what you can eat, what you can't. I said, you got to help him navigate that so he can get off insulin.
Yep. Yeah, and again, I ended up having health issues. I think my gallbladder ended up getting worse in there. I ended up having gallbladder.
The foods are terrible, Jay.
Yeah, and I ended up having to go into the medical facility in prison to figure out what it was. They couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, my gosh. Good night, Bert. Good night.
Oh, good night, Bert. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I had a health scare, and I thought maybe it ruptured or something. It was stones going down through. It wasn't kidney stones. It was gallbladder stones, and that's painful. I was hurting. So yeah, it's bad. Anyways, it said this. Please like, share, and follow. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, for doing what you're doing. Hit and smash the like button, share, do what you can, and let's get this stuff out there. Knowledge is power. Yep, absolutely. Share your links, guys. Texas Mom, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you doing that over there. Don't visit. Video visit costs as well. Yes, I never done that one. Just asking. Yes, it depends on the prison, depends on what it is. But most of the prisons you have to put a certain money down to get a video visit. Yes.
most of them you do, and county especially costs
Mhm. Mhm.
through the nose.
Missa said this: they let prison in Florida drink contaminated water. Imagine that. For 4 months, they knew and allowed it. Just last year, Florida is so vile in so many ways. Yeah, and again, lawsuit. Taxpayers will pay for that mistake.
Yeah,
I
Texas
don't want
Moms
to hear any.
has
Yeah, go ahead.
been. I'm sorry, Texas Moms husband, hubby, the unit he's in, they have radiation in the water.
Oh,
And
hell
every
no.
time they go to get inspected, they pour bleach and bleach the lines before the inspectors come so that they can't find it.
Okay, now I got to do this. Now that you said that, I got to do this. Oops, wrong one. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Imagine that. See, Tammy's on fire too. She gets the Imagine That things going. That makes me want to do Imagine That segments. Man, you know,
Yep,
guys,
we
it's
need to do some
it's
Imagine
ridiculous. I can't stand deals. I can't stand the
Guys, I
system.
just
What
got to
the hell?
tell y'all how much I love you and how much you guys helped me
Yeah.
get through all of this. Jay, his poor
Yeah.
wife that has to share him with us, and and
Yeah, you better be nice.
yeah, I mean, I feel bad for her. She has to share you, but you know, let me tell you, if it wasn't for Texas Mom sometimes listening to me, like my woes, or
Yeah, we
you,
appreciate
or
Texas Mom.
back
Absolutely,
info,
everybody.
or
Mhm.
some of the other people that are in our group, you know, we all have to lean on each other for support and love
Mhm.
and all of that. We have to show each other that support. And
Yeah,
yes, I
absolutely,
get
guys.
my greatest support from God, but I do appreciate all of you so much more than you know. Every one of you.
Correct.
Including
Well,
you,
Tammy,
Jay.
what do you?
Even you.
Oh, I'm loved. I'm kidding.
Aw.
Thank you, Tammy. So in your closing arguments for tonight, unless we want to stay in here a bit longer, but I am past my limit unless you guys want me to stay. But like I said, what's your closing arguments for tonight? And then of course I got an update.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this very brief. Look, slavery is just not the answer. I think
No.
we've enslaved people long enough. I think it's time for America to stand up and do what's right. It's very hard for me. I shouldn't say this. This sounds so terrible, but listen, I love all of the people that are veterans. Veterans Day's coming up, so I'm gonna say a happy early Veterans Day. But
Absolutely.
here's my big thing. This country was founded on the backs of peoples, of cultures, of
Mhm.
religions, and
Mhm.
it was founded on such corruption,
Mhm.
enslavement of peoples, unaliving of cultures and peoples, that
Yes.
it makes me absolutely sick. We cannot call this the land of the free, but yet we incarcerate more people than
Yeah.
anywhere else in the friggin' world.
We are the number one
It's
country.
just such a hypocrite. We're hypocrites, and I don't want to be a part of that. I do not want to be associated with it.
I agree.
Part of my family, even though I do look Caucasian, part of my family, a big chunk of my family, was Cherokee Indian. I had a grandmother, a great grandmother that was full blooded. So her family was wiped out. Part of
Say
my
it loud.
family was wiped out by the unaliving and torture and destruction of a culture. I
Correct.
cannot stand on this anymore. Prison needs to go. We need to find a better way. There's got to be a better way.
Thank you, Trey Stone. Tammy, did you see his comment?
Yes. Thank you, Trey.
You do. You have to
Love
honor. You have to honor and respect your spouse. Without them, we would be lost. Just like we'd be lost if we didn't have our Lord in our life. So thank you, Trey.
I think he was referring to the fact that he's a veteran. Rick's
know.
a
I was.
veteran. He was in the Army, but yeah, I honor him too. Even though he can be a pain, I'm a pain
Yeah.
too. So yeah, we honor each other.
Well, Missa said this. That's alive and well in Oklahoma today. R.A.P. Cole gives plenty. Rest in peace, Cole gives plenty. Wow, thank you. Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can relate. Texas is very much closely related to that mentality over there.
Thank you, Cadillac. Thank you so much for doing that. Sometimes I don't get the opportunity to do that because I'm doing the live. And so, Cadillac, thank you so much for doing that. You're good with that. And again, if you need any content ideas, feel free to use my stuff to do videos if you want. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing over there. And keep up your faith and keep your fight because we're all in this together. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I head out of here, we got an update for you guys. I told you if anything changed and whatnot, I would show it to you. My co-host Tammy already knows about this because I had to break it to her.
I'm so excited.
And so just so you guys know, this coming Wednesday, I know it's a few days out, but be patient. We waited this long. We have a very interesting and very special podcast, if you will, coming up on Wednesday. Mark your calendar. I believe that's the 13th, correct? So anyways, the 13th is Wednesday. Mark it down on your little calendar. Do what you got to do on your cell phone, whatever you do to get your notifications. If you're new here, sub to my YouTube channel so you won't miss it that way. Because again, a lot of these other platforms, ladies and gentlemen, are not guaranteed. I have haters and I've been shut down before. So make sure you follow me here. All right. So what I'm going to show you on the screen before we get out of here is a very special podcast that I'm going to basically hold dear and near to my heart, and it's been long overdue. And I worked my butt off to get this scheduled, if you know what I mean. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and show you what it is, and of course, that's going to be the thumbnail, and that's going to be upcoming this Wednesday. Here it is. What you see here, yes, that's my other half, the one that you see Avatar in, the boss. This is my beautiful wife Wendy, who has been by my side through every mess, if you will, in our lives or my life. And she's going to be sitting next to me this coming Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to do a very special podcast. If you guys have any questions with the prison wife, because that's what she was at that one time. She's no longer really technically a prison wife anymore because I'm home. But she was a prison wife back in 2009 for 18 months in a county jail, and then another 3 or 4 months in international prison, and then another 2 years on probation. So almost 5 years altogether. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the wife, the rock, the glue, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen, who stuck by my side and was there for me to do what I got to do. And I don't want you guys to miss it because she's going to be sitting right next to my side right here, guys. Right here doing this podcast with me on Wednesday. Don't miss it. Tammy?
Yes, I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I really, really cannot wait. I'm very excited. I'm so glad that she's decided to come and do this. It's going to be a really nice show for all of us that still have loved ones in. We have questions, and we like seeing the other side of things too, where you guys went through it and you got out, and how that all played out for you guys after release. I mean, it's it gives us hope. It gives us so much hope. So we're so
Mrs. Mrs. going to talk to you Sunday, Tammy.
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait. That's
keep me updated on what if it's something Tammy prison related. You got to update me on what it is.
Yeah, I don't want to bother you on the weekend, but if you want to do a third party call, we can all three be on the call. That would be great with me. But,
that would be part of late at night. I'm a late nighter anyway, so sometime late at night.
We're gonna talk at 3 p.m. Central Time.
Okay. Well, I guess on that time it depends on if I'm not busy or not. I'll try.
Yeah, you can text me and let me know, and then I'll know whether to dial you in the call or whatever. And we'll
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. Tammy,
this is where planning begins, folks.
We got some big. We got some big.
Even do a Google Meet
man, yeah, exactly. We got some, Tammy, and I know you can agree with me on this. Before we bounce out of here, we got some major things coming down the pike. I'm
Yes, we do.
excited.
Very
Stay
happy
tuned,
for all of
guys.
us.
I don't want you guys to miss anything. So if you are definitely new here, you need to sub. I'm not looking for a popularity contest. I don't care whether you do or don't, but take my advice. You need to sub because we got some major things that are going to break loose at the end of this year into the new year. 2025 is even going to be better for Fion, the family, you all. I got so much stuff that I want to share with you guys, but I can't really tell you what it is because I don't want to spoil it. But man, we got some awesome things coming down the
Yeah,
pike. It's
we're not
amazing.
gonna we're
Yeah.
not gonna jinx ourselves. I'm not saying anything.
I know,
I'm
but
happy.
you know what I'm getting
I'm
at. You know,
happy for all of you because the
yeah.
journey has been so long and so hard and
Mhm.
through such storms. But
Yes.
remember, God always promises. His promises are true. His promises are faithful, and they always come. He comes through. He comes through for us at the end when we think there is no hope. That is
Yeah.
the one hope I know we have.
Yeah.
And in that I
Yeah.
trust.
That and what and very nicely said, Tammy. And if I may, there's even a blessing that is going in the works coming your way too from us.
Oh,
So
I don't even know what to say. As all I want to say is I want to continue to keep, and I ask everybody in here, if you find out anything about Menendez brothers, that case specifically,
Yeah.
I need whatever information, if you can send it my way on the ruling or anything to do with it.
Trey should do stand up.
Amen.
Trey should do stand. I would love to meet Trey.
I love
I'd like to
Trey.
give him.
I love
I like to
Trey.
give him a big man shake and a hug.
Trey,
I would. I like to meet him.
I want you to know that I am not a good representation of said religious association that you have. I was baptized under that religious association when I was 30. I'm 53 now. I do believe in the faith, but my mouth is really bad. God forgive me, I do sin.
We're
daily.
human.
But listen, I love you. Just know that. And God does.
Love you,
too.
Texas mom. Love you,
Love
Texas
all of
mom. Thank
you.
you. Love you
I'm
guys.
so happy that we are so blessed with the people
We
have.
got a cool ass family here, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, I
love them
I do.
all.
I'm blessed. We'll keep you guys updated on all the breaking news, all of that. If you guys want hype, go somewhere else. You want truth, stay right here. That's what you're going to get
That's
here
right.
with us. You're not going to get bull crap lies and, I made up this and just for talking points and this and that. The haters are going to hate. And again, boom, haters, put this in your pipe and smoke it. Success is the best revenge. And again, it's available if you guys want it. I got so many other merch items there. And plus I got now a new one coming up thanks to my little smart comment about the duct tape thing. I'm going to make a t-shirt, I guess.
Yep, it's coming. It's coming.
We'll see what
I have
happens.
a
But anyways,
great
guys,
idea. You're
right.
you
Yeah,
stepped
absolutely.
into
But
it
anyways,
now.
guys, do what you guys can to support this. Obviously I need to keep the ink up on my printer and the paper on my printer because I use it a lot. Do what you can to support the the podcast, not the system. No, they get enough money. Support this and do what you can to show your love and respect here, which you always do anyways. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. With that said, I'm your host, Jay. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Make sure you've got your calendar and your notifications turned on. You don't want to miss that one. I'm looking forward to it. With that said, good night, Tammy. Everybody in the chat, love and respect you all. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.